All right, here we are, episode 6, going over week 1 review, week 2 preview, and our best college football traditions. We're going to do a draft at the end here with our best football or college football traditions. We feel like we haven't really shown much love to college football since this podcast has started. We've been mainly speaking about professional football, which is fine because there's a lot of hype around that right now, especially with us wrapping up week 1. While we are recording this, we do actually have Monday Night Football on in the background. So there's 2 minutes left, or 6 minutes left in the second quarter.
8 minutes for me.
Yeah, 8 minutes for Mason.
He's just stolen the first quarter.
He's on an Oklahoma delay.
Opening kickoff just happened, guys.
Terrible.
Wait, Christian McCaffrey's out?
Oh my god. Yeah, and speak for yourself, Nut. I've mentioned college football like the past couple of times, and I'm planning on talking about it again tonight.
That's true. All right, but before we get into any of that, we like to do our first little topic here, our news and our life updates segment. So does anyone have any news to share about their life?
I do. Liz got a new job.
Right.
So that's exciting. She's working for the city, helping plan events and work the events around town. So it'd be cool to get involved in some of those. Finally going to be pulling financial weight around the house. Just kidding.
Hey, Zoltas, quick question.
Yeah.
Did she get off before 5 or after? I'm just trying to gauge.
Dude, it's it's all around. I think we'll have to get her a wheelchair.
Okay, got it. Her legs don't work after 5. It's crazy.
But yeah, other than that, not much. Kids learning how to walk. That's been fun, chasing him around the house. But just podcasting, school, and playing games. Anyone else?
I'll go next because it kind of plays off yours. My girlfriend, Rhiannon, started her new job today. She's had a job. She's pulled her financial weight, but she got a new job. She's a personal banker now for City National Bank, and
nice.
Yeah, I'm proud. She got a nice little job, and she's doing well. So that's kind of my news and life update. Other than that, I'm chilling, just working and podcasting.
We're gonna get those wedding invites anytime soon, or what, dude?
Maybe.
All right, just make it over here in Ohio.
Yeah.
We'll come to it for sure.
No, group road trip, man.
I'm gonna have this kid very
I'm
soon.
in. I'll drive.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
We'll all have to rent a Mercedes Sprinter van. Not a sponsor, but if you want,
that'd be cool. If y'all pull up
want
a
to be a
Mercedes
sponsor,
Sprinter, that'd be so cool.
It's gonna be so much heavy breathing. It's gonna be unreal. Inside the windows gonna be all foggy. Nuts.
Mercedes, if you sponsor us to drive to Oklahoma for Mason's wedding, we will do a live podcast in a Sprinter van.
Oh, dude, that would be sick.
Yeah, in the Sprinter van.
in.
Would be nice.
I'm so in.
We'll get him Nova Drive.
Just hire him for the week.
What,
Not even
drive
hire him.
up to Ohio and then drive us back to Oklahoma?
Yeah, he's gonna drive here with his own vehicle, drive us to Oklahoma, and then drive us back, drop us off.
Oh shit!
Thoughts?
That's
gas,
pretty rough.
gas is all on Nova.
You decide. Not me. Yeah, I can't afford that. It's crazy.
Yeah, the
No, I
podcast
can't
isn't
afford
paying
it.
for it.
All right. I don't really have much news. I went to the Browns game yesterday, which we will talk about in full force. But even though we lost, it's always a good time to spend time with my brother and dad. Go up there to the game and, just sit in misery with the rest of the Browns fans.
Bro.
It was a rough.
He
a
wasn't
rough
that
game.
bad. He was fucking behind Abe Lincoln, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I'll
honestly,
post
it
that
was
picture
there.
onto the podcast socials. But for some unknown reason, a giant man with a beard and a top hat was there, cosplaying as Abe Lincoln. So,
Jeez.
congrats to him, I guess.
I'm just surprised you can still talk with how much you probably were booing out there.
Yeah, the throat's been a little scratchy today. It's been a little hoarse, so for sure.
Mm-mm-mm.
But Fish, you got anything before we get going?
Yeah, just a couple little things. Yesterday was a big day for us, obviously. I went to the Bengals game with Bosom. Not a Bengals fan, but Bosom's a Patriots fan, so I decided to wear my reddish-orange shorts just in case. If the Patriots do end up winning and Bosom gets beat up, I could join in on the beating up, and I won't have to do anything else. Yeah, stood the whole 4.5 hours, which was great. We had a great view. Unfortunate for all those Bengals fans. I know a lot of the Patriots fans. Surprisingly, a lot of Patriots fans there, and especially around the third quarter, it was just a sea of blue because all the Bengals fans had left, which is very, very interesting. So pretty fair weather over there. I know it's the first game of the year, but then later that night, ended up going to see Mamma Mia with Annie, my girlfriend, which was an absolute blast. We had some box seats. So I was really lounging out, taking up a lot of space there. So unlike, Zoltowski has a tank, I take up a lot of space there, which is good. So
I take up so much space, man.
you don't take up shit. You throw up your shield and that's it. So it's unreal. It's so frustrating. But that's all I got for my news. Just the big announcements for that. So
Nice. And then Zoltowski, you wanted to talk about Tyreek Hill today, correct?
Yeah, I did actually. So a lot of you definitely saw that he was arrested, put in handcuffs before the game against the Jaguars. Just that the sheriff's office had come out and made their statement on it. The officer's placed on administrative leave, all that. But one comment that really kind of stuck out to me, just kind of what we see a lot in the world today, unfortunately, is, he said, "What if I wasn't Tyreek Hill? Is it because everyone knew who he was, he just got away with it?" They were saying he was being uncooperative, but then there are reports that he wasn't.
The body cam footage got released.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, I just watched it probably a minute before we started recording.
Must have come out after I looked at this, so I will have to check that out, and I'll definitely post an update on my thoughts. But it's just an interesting concept about how that was, because he was on the ground, handcuffed.
Yeah, he was on the ground.
Yeah, he was.
And then went and scored an 80-yard touchdown, and his teammate pretended to handcuff him, which was pretty funny, honestly.
That was pretty great.
Well, you mentioned his teammates. One of his teammates were actually at the scene as well.
Mm-hmm.
Or a couple of them. I think Calais Campbell, he
Yep.
also got arrested just for being there.
I think he was trying to defend him.
Yeah, I believe
what was in that article.
Tyreek was telling him to call their agent, Drew Rosenhaus, which seems like he represents everybody. But Calais was just checking on Tyreek Hill, it seemed like, and saying like, "Hey, this is Tyreek Hill, he's
about to play a
game
yeah.
and all that stuff. He's got a lot of money."
Could you imagine
hurt him.
trying to arrest Calais Campbell? That is a
that guy's
human
a
to arrest.
Yeah,
like,
that's a big man.
I would be,
You need
if it's
3
just
sets of
me,
handcuffs.
I'd be like, "Yo, bring me the SWAT team. We are not bringing this man down by ourselves."
Yeah, he's a giant individual.
Yeah. If he came up to me and I was arresting Tyreek Hill, like, let him go. It's Tyreek Hill. I'd be like, "All right, man. Shit, that's all you had to say. My fault, man. I don't want no problems with you."
just a little picture, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah.
And then the last thing we had, sad news today, James Earl Jones has passed away. The voice of Darth Vader, Mufasa himself. He's been in tons and tons of things. So myself being a big Star Wars fan, this is one that we always kind of never wanted to see happen, but we knew it was coming very soon. So just sad to see. So rest in peace, James Earl Jones.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. I have two Star Wars tattoos. Man, Star Wars means a lot to me. Mufasa. He was Mufasa. Like Fish said, he's in the Sandlot. Field of Dreams, but he will be missed. But his voice will not go unheard, thankfully.
He had an
Absolutely,
iconic voice,
yeah.
that's for sure.
All right, so we can move on to our week 1 review. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go over some of the week 1 performances. Now, like I said, we do have the Jets and the 49ers game playing right now, which it looks like there's going to be a couple standouts from this game, one being Garrett Wilson, one being Jordan Mason.
Jordan Mason, best running back in the league.
I mean, Jordan Mason
He looks
looks
good.
like he's a secret weapon out there.
I want to say it.
Say what?
He's a good guy, man. He's a good player.
I get it. That's funny.
He's a good player, that's for sure. But no, it seems like every 49ers running back that steps in seems to have some sort of success. So
Because that
I don't know if that's a
line,
Shanahan thing. Yeah, it's definitely part of the line too. Which
I mean, they did just pay their tackle a ton of money.
yeah, Trent
Yeah,
Williams
so
is in
as they
right
should.
now.
He's probably the best in the league, man. You got to pay that guy.
Okay. All right.
Is he not? Who's better?
The entire Eagles offensive line, just letting you know. Landon Dickerson doesn't do the holding anymore.
Oh yeah, anymore.
He had a holding problem, that's for sure, especially in Madden.
Trent Williams runs a 4.1.
A 4.1, he runs a 4.1.
Yeah, no, he runs very fast for his size. I would not want to be on defense against Trent Williams.
100%.
Okay. Let's see here. So let's start off with the talk about the illegal formation calls. Seems to be they are really, taking that seriously this year. I heard Joe Buck say earlier during the game that they called one in the 49ers and Jets game, and that was the 21st one of those called.
Wow.
This week. So week 1, there's already been 21 of those called. So NFL coaches, they're going to have to really hammer that home during the weeks to get that corrected. It seems like the Browns had 3 or 4 of those maybe, but that's really the big news for, the league, but we are going to talk about performances from certain players and some surprises we have and also some concerns we may have. So what we're going to do first is go through our week 1 surprises. So Fish, why don't you go ahead and start with your week 1 surprise here?
Week 1 surprise. Now, coming in with a full healthy team, Joe Burrow being one of the healthiest he's ever been in his career so far. They revamped their offensive line, picked up 2 massive human beings. Great for their teams. They came over here, a lot of hype, a lot of anticipation. I know that Chase was a little under the weather, but he ended up playing. The biggest surprise, especially going against the Patriots, which the Patriots aren't a cupcake team, but at the same time, we figured that they would put up at least 30 points. The defense would play really well, hold them down. I mean, it was Jacoby, the biscuit man himself, out there throwing it, looking really, really good. But my surprise is just in general the entire Bengals offense. Burrow did play very well, accuracy-wise, went like 21 for 28, I believe. But it just seems like the coaching itself, a lot of the plays, and of course watching it in person, you can kind of feed off that energy there and kind of get a big, wide view of what was going on. Even I questioned a lot of the plays, and I'm not a coach or anything like that, but it's just the atmosphere in general at Paycor was a little confusing. Like, what are we doing? Like, why are we going for that? Why are we not going for 4th when we're down by 7 points? There was a lot of questionable things going on there. And again, I know it's the first game. Eagles, Chiefs, Ravens, 49ers up until now. A lot of these big, high priority teams are not playing up their potential, which is okay. First, you're shaking the rust off. But that was my surprise, is kind of see a Bengals offense look depleted already. They couldn't get any big movements going. I know they got Moss there with Chase Brown. They just really couldn't get anything going. So I don't know if the Patriots defense and their team was playing out of their minds, but that was a big surprise for me. I figured that they would have blown them out of the water. So did every other fan there. Even the Patriots, some of the guys that I talked to, they're like, yeah, we're just here for the beer and to have fun. So it was a different story there. So that was my big surprise, the Bengals' entire offense.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not surprised that they started slow because they seem to do that every year. But I'm surprised that the Patriots won for sure. Like, I don't know if it was a T. Higgins thing, like you said, or what, but it's very surprising that their offense seemed to be that stagnant.
True.
Mason, why don't you go ahead and tell us about your weekly win?
I'll go ahead. My week 1 surprise, Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield might just be him. Can we all agree?
I can agree. I mean, he looks great.
Yeah, he does look really
He
good.
looks crazy. He has a really good receiving core. Mike Evans, Father Time, Chris Godwin's out there. I mean, he just makes it happen. Mike Evans has glue on his hands or something. But I mean, Baker Mayfield threw for 289 yards, 4 passing touchdowns. He doesn't look like, the guy that he did on Carolina, the guy that the Browns traded because he wasn't this, he wasn't that. No, Baker Mayfield, man, he might be, if he keeps this up, man, he might be legitimate top 15 in the league, top 10 even. I don't know if he's top 5, but I think he's top 10, if he keeps this up. I'm not saying he's that right now, but Baker Mayfield might be him as long as he keeps going. If he leads the Buccaneers to another playoff run, that'd be pretty magical to watch. I love me some Baker Mayfield. I'm from Oklahoma. I'm a big OU fan, so I'll always root for the guy.
Yeah, I think he's had as good a start as any quarterback in the league for sure.
Yeah.
You talk about his time with the Browns. There was a lot of love for him in Cleveland, myself included, but that love kind of faded away when he played hurt, and it kind of, killed that situation and put the Browns in the situation that they're in now, which I will talk about in a few minutes. But
right.
Yeah, I mean, Baker looked great. From what I saw, I could only watch highlights because we were traveling, but definitely looked like he played well.
Yeah, no, he played very well, and I hope he keeps it up. I'm a big fan of him, so I'm rooting for him. But my next one, I want to say my fantasy hero. I mean, this guy he's been consistent in the fantasy world, but to do this, with a whole new team, whole new offense, and just to do it week 1, get it down. I'm going to go with another Oklahoma guy, Joe Mixon. 30 rush attempts. Talk about a bell cow. He actually led the league in rush attempts. And he had 159 rushing yards and a touchdown. I mean, in one league, I had him and he scored 38.80 points. That's a fantasy hero. That's a make or break for some people. That's a lot of points for one guy to score. So I was definitely excited to see that Texans offense. Joe Mixon looks like he meshes in just fine there. So I think he'll be fun to watch, and so will C.J. Stroud and Stephon Diggs, all of them. I think it'll be a good team. That's a scary team going forward.
What's your scoring in that league? Was it you get 4 points per rush?
Yeah,
that's wild.
That's insane.
No.
38 points is crazy. I think it's like
at 100 yards, it gives you an extra 6 points. At 150, it gives you another 6 points or something like that.
Oh,
okay.
I've been in a bonus league before. Those can be fun.
Yeah, they're pretty fun.
But then you have those, few players that reach that consistently, and they're just, invaluable.
Yeah, they just reach a threshold that no one else can compare with.
Yep. But it's a fun league for sure. My fantasy zeros though, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. All of my tight ends. Just kidding. Almost all tight ends in the NFL. There was only, I think I looked, 3 tight ends. If we're talking fantasy wise, that scored double digits. Kyle Pitts, he's on his redemption tour. The Tennessee Titans tight end. How do you say his name? Onweku? I don't even know. I don't want to sound like an idiot, so I'm not going to say it.
I'm not sure how you say his name either. And
I can't remember the third one for the life of me. But there was only 3 guys to score double-digit fantasy points for tight ends. And, it was a really disappointing day for tight ends. David Njoku was on that track, but he got uprooted with an injury. Tight ends just struggled this week for some reason. And that's kind of sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then before you get into your concern at the end here, the last section, we'll let Fish go back through and do his win and zero. No, you're good.
No,
we'll let Fish go back and do his hero and zero.
I wanted to hear your heroes and zeros, Fish.
Thanks, Mace. I appreciate it.
Looking at him, and I'm like,
look, we all knew, and I got 2 players here that kind of surprised me. I was kind of hoping for the best for both of these guys. Jaden Daniels came out. I know that they picked up a loss there against Mr. Baker. But this guy really absolutely balled out. Went 17 of 24 passing attempts with 180 yards. Now, this is a little high for my liking, but he did rush for 16 times for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. For your first game in, he's looking pretty good. Outside of Caleb Williams, he looks to be the real deal, and it's not like the Bucs teams is a washover team at all. He had to really fight for the extra yardage. He's doing everything that he can with his legs. He was known for that in college as well. So a lot of promise there, a lot of good things to come, I think, for him. Now, my next one is another guy who, injury-ridden, had the potential, good pass-catching back, good running back, got hurt, ended up losing his spot and going to the Chargers, and J.K. Dobbins. That guy actually did very, very well on 10 carries for 135 yards, 3 receptions for 4 yards. Not too bad. But then also scored a rushing touchdown. I know he got the game ball. I watched a little clip of everybody in the locker room when coach was giving out the game ball. He said J.K. Dobbs, and the entire locker room exploded. To me, that's one of those little heartfelt moments like, hey, that guy has been busting his ass for all these years, ridden by injuries, tier 1 running backs in front of him, and now he finally gets the opportunity to showcase what he can do. Hopefully, and again, last year he was on track to do that too. Hopefully he stays healthy, but he could be an absolute threat there. I'm just very excited to see him going there and doing well. So I know he popped off for 21.4 points in most of our leagues, which is currently ranked number 3 as of right now, until Jordan Mason comes in and knocks out 50 points. So that's my fantasy heroes for last week. Good heartfelt stories, good positive trends going with those guys. So did you want me to move on to Fantasy Zero, or do you want me to kick it over to Zoltowski and you guys?
Yeah, go for your zeros, and then we'll Zoltowski can go with his surprises, hero and zero, and then we'll go into our concerns at the end, because I don't know about you, I got a lot of concerns.
But I can see it. You got a lot of concerns.
I bet you do, man.
You got a lot of concerns. And you had a long trip back to think about those concerns as well.
You did.
So,
about 3-hour drive, right?
It's like
it's 4 hours. 4 hours.
4 hours?
It's a 4-hour drive, yeah.
Oh.
Were you driving?
Yeah, with my brother's song logs in the background.
Yeah, so Noah was driving,
cool.
so it was 6-hour drive because he
No,
grabbed
steering wheel.
My dad was driving.
Oh, okay. So it was about 4.5. I don't know. Your dad speeds sometimes. He hits those little lines on the side. It's crazy.
All the time. Rumble strip.
It wakes me up. It really does. My fantasy zeros now, again, so much potential for these guys. But I am glad to see that Jared Goff did pass the ball along to everyone. Unfortunately, Amon-Ra was not one of those guys. Again, first game, shaking off the rust. J-Mo had an incredible game, which is fantastic. So a lot of good users there. But Amon,
for that.
very, very excited, right? The team looks potent. It looks dangerous. And if you guys are that good with Amon only getting 3 receptions on 6 attempts for 13 yards, I think you guys are going to do just fine. So those are his stats going into week 2. This guy is always going to have a chip on his shoulder. I know he's sitting and he's pissed right now that he only got 3 receptions for 13 yards. So anticipating a massive week in week 2. So good luck to whoever the Lions are playing, because it's about to be a bloodbath. My next one, I know we had a lot of anticipation with Kurt Cuddy going to the Falcons. Drake London expected a little bit more out of him, to be honest. I know Bijan did everything he could. They looked well. Again, first game, but Drake London's got a lot of hype around him now that he finally has a quarterback with him who loves to throw to massive receivers. He caught both his passes for only 15 yards. Unfortunately, I started him in one of my leagues. I'm doing really well so far, but it was one of those like, maybe he'll turn it around. And then the game was over, and I was like, he didn't turn it around. So, again, looking into week 2, hopefully big plays coming ahead. They just got to get their chemistry down. Week 1, little shakes there. So, going forward, I think both of those guys will obviously be very, very fine. So, Kirk Cuddy just needs to continue to throw the ball like he did with Jay Jetta. So, that's my fantasy zeros. So, Zoltowski, you want to take it over? Go ahead, sorry.
From a fantasy perspective, I'm sure you're going to continue to start and play Drake London just because he's. I I believe Kirk Cousins is going to probably turn that around. He's still coming off that Achilles tear. His was a little bit later than Aaron Rodgers, so you got to think he's still probably working the mechanics out of that. So it's just something that he's going to have to take time. And I don't think he played preseason football either, did he?
No, not that I saw. Plus, like new system, new team, so just got to get the cobwebs out. But that was one of my
Yep.
He'll do fine. So nobody panic just yet.
Yeah.
And then Amon-Ra, I think Zoltowski, didn't we talk about this on another podcast where he's just going to write Jameson Williams' name down every time he gets a target?
Every time. I mean, they've got, now they've got J-Mo, who looked fantastic. They've got Laporta, who can also catch the ball. Big target there. Gibbs catches it out of the backfield. Like there's a lot of receiving threats on that team, and then not to mention the rushing game. I mean, David Montgomery looked spectacular last night. That overtime drive was insane. They didn't look tired. They're like, oh, we just could play another half of football. Let's go. And just ran it down their throats. So I think they're going to spread the ball around a lot. And, Amon-Ra's always the guy that got double teamed because, like when Megatron was there, they're going to throw it to him. He's their weapon. Not so much anymore. We've got a couple of them. So pick which one, and the other ones are going to be open.
Well, plus Gibbs out of the backfield too, pass catching back too. I mean, you got a two-headed monster though. That's disgusting.
Yeah, I'm
there's
excited.
So many target shares. Yeah, you guys will be just fine. So they can't guard everyone.
No, they can't. You're not wrong there.
Yeah. All right, Zoltowski, you want to go with your your week one surprise and then your fantasy hero and zero?
So yeah, I will. My week one surprise, honestly, was the Bears defense. They are the reason that the Bears have won that football game. That and their special teams. 2 defensive touchdowns, had a pick six and a block punt that they returned for a touchdown because the offense could not get a goddamn thing going at all. I mean, I'm fine with Lions fan, but they looked good. I have EJ Edwards. He scored me 33 points in fantasy, so always happy there. If they can get that offense figured out, that team might be pretty good. Might be pretty good. And then my fantasy hero, Fish, I think you'll agree with this one, but was Saquon Barkley. Eagles debut, comes out, scores 3 touchdowns, 109 rushing yards on 24 carries, and then 23 yards on 2 receptions. I mean, now that he has an O-line that he can run behind, he's got so much movement, so much power. He's going to be just awesome for them, and the Eagles are going to be a scary team, I think.
Looks good.
But yeah, just a fantastic performance from him. I'm happy that he scored me a bunch of points, but also happy to see him live up to his potential because the Giants just weren't it for him.
Something I did notice, right now, obviously watching the game and such, I mean, not only does he look explosive, looks like he's like his younger form again, but when he scored, his smile, right? He's got that smile that he's back playing the game that he loved. And the Giants just didn't offer him that. It was the first year was great for them, and then ever since then it was just in a downward spiral. And them not being able to pay him or not wanting to pay him what he wanted, well, that sucks that a good team could offer him that much that he wants, and now he's on a good team. I mean, there was a lot of concerns with A.J. Brown and a couple other players that were just standing on the sidelines watching Barkley play and practice. They were actually getting in trouble starting to run polls because they were just amazed that this guy could do what he can with his age and size still. So a lot of great things going there. And I, of course, am very, very excited going forward to see what he can do. And finally, once that offense clicks, it's going to be an absolutely disgusting thing. So good call there, Zoltowski.
Yep, I can't. Another team I'm excited to watch. Yeah, but yeah, that he just got that drive now because he knows he's got a team that backs him. And maybe the Giants shouldn't have paid their fantastic quarterback so much money, and they could have paid Saquon.
That guy's double ass. He's so bad.
Bottom of the barrel.
He's thrown more pick sixes since he's got his contract than to his actual teammates that he's like throwing touchdowns to.
That's just an
He's
insane
got 3 pick
stat
sixes
line.
and 2 touchdowns to his own teammates. That's $40 million for you there. I can do that. I can do that.
I could definitely do that.
Yeah.
Still
And
not the worst contract in the NFL. We'll talk about it.
No,
We'll talk
no,
about it.
I
Coming
can
up
just-
next. Stay tuned.
Stand by.
I can feel
We'll talk
it.
about it.
Oh,
Seething.
Zoltaski,
Teams are
fantasy
just-
zeros.
yeah, fantasy zeros. Which already mentioned, but the entire Bears offense. I mean, Caleb Williams just looked bad. Their receivers looked bad. Swift is about to get booted from my fantasy team. You know, their running game was just not good. They I don't know. Like I said, their defense kept them in that game. The only reason they won. I just don't know. I mean, it's week 1. You know, he's rookie quarterback, but you know, everyone was talking. Oh, he's the guy. He's the savior. We're gonna be good now. I don't think it's gonna happen. 64 passing yards and 84 rushing yards. So barely over 100 yards on offense.
Mason, you seem to really love Caleb Williams. Would you like to comment?
That's actually one of my concerns. Yeah, I do like Caleb Williams. I do think it's the first game jitters. He might get over it. I think that whole offense just has to click in. Again, Caleb Williams, first year, his first game. A lot of those guys, you know, they went from Justin Fields to Caleb Williams. They're still trying to get used to him. They brought in Keenan Allen. He's had Justin Herbert and Phillip Rivers, all that type of stuff. You know, I think everyone just has to mesh for a second. I don't think they'll be bad. I don't think Caleb Williams is as bad as everyone's saying he is. Just give him time. Just give him time is all I'm saying. But one of my concerns are go over it when it's time. And it needs to be addressed for this guy.
Okay.
All right. I'll hear you out.
All right, Nut, back to you.
Yeah, back to you, bud.
All right, I'll go through with my my surprise first, and for my surprise, it was the first game. Isaiah Likely, his usage in the Ravens offense right now is just, it's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So I put up a chart here that I'm going to read off of. Isaiah Likely played 53 offensive plays. In those 53 plays, he lined up 4 of those plays outside at receiver, 27 at slot receiver, 21 at tight end, and then 1 in the backfield. So they're using him literally everywhere. Now that does kind of mirror Mark Andrews' numbers a little bit as well. Mark Andrews lined up for 59 snaps, 7 outside at receiver, 31 at slot receiver, 21 at tight end, and 0 in the backfield. But the interesting thing is, in the 32 routes, in all those snaps that Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews had together, Isaiah Likely had 32 routes to Mark Andrews' 36 routes, but Isaiah Likely had 12 targets to Mark Andrews' 2 targets. So it just seems like Isaiah Likely's getting more open. It seems like they are going to continue to use the tight ends as receivers, whether that be, you know, split or out wide. Seems like Isaiah Likely is really comfortable everywhere in that offense, and Lamar was really finding him to throw him the ball. I mean, his stat line at the end of that game ended up being he caught 9 of 12 targets for 111 yards and a touchdown, and he almost caught the game-winning touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Chiefs painted that line a little too close.
You got too big of a foot size.
I believe
It's
it.
crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So no, I think Isaiah Likely, he's definitely my surprise for week 1. I did have another surprise for week 1. That is Sam Darnold. I am surprised with how well he played. It makes me wonder if, you know, some of Kirk Cousins' success was due to the system up there. I mean, we've seen a couple of different quarterbacks succeed in that system with Joshua Dobbs. So who knows if Sam Darnold's going to continue this, but for week 1, it looked pretty good.
Yeah, it did.
But my fantasy hero, I'm going to have to go back to Isaiah Likely. I mean, if you can get that type of production, like Mason said, most tight ends were horrible this year or this week. If you can get that type of production out of a tight end, especially one that's not going to always line up in the tight end position, I think you got a league winner there. I think he's going to be able to help you win games because he's not going to be tied to, you know, having to block every play, having to line up alongside the tackles, staying in the box, all that stuff. So
I agree.
I think he's a pretty good fantasy hero. Now, getting into the fantasy zeros, like I said, I went to the game. I went to the Cleveland game we played against Dallas. The entire Browns offense is on the fantasy zeros list. And in reality, that is really on Deshaun Watson. I mean, he didn't play in the preseason at all, which people are claiming that he's just getting the rust knocked off. I'm going to be pretty candid here. I've been hearing that for 3 years, that he's been getting the rust knocked off. He has not come anywhere close to where he was in Houston. So I'm just going to roll right into my concerns from there. His ability to play football is concerning me right now. I'm not really sure if he's able to, you know, recapture who he once was. We haven't seen it. He's only played 6 games every season. Now, last year he did go 5-1, but I mean, the rest of that's a team stat. Wins, losses is a team stat. So he was great, or the team was great when he was in, but they were even better when Joe Flacco was in. Joe Flacco had 300 yards passing 5 of his 6 games with the Browns last year. So
Bring back Flacco. I'm here for it. One last ride.
Well, we do have Jameis. And another thing with Deshaun is news actually came out today of a new sexual assault case on Deshaun Watson. So that is from October of 2020. I'm not going to get into all that because I'm not going to talk about anything legal pertaining him at the current moment. But that is something to keep an eye on. You know, other than just his play, a big concern I have, especially with Njoku getting injured, is we only had 2 tight ends on the roster at all, and it was David Njoku and then Jordan Akins.
Yeah.
So I don't know what we're gonna do at tight end there. David Njoku has a high ankle sprain, which could take, I read, somewhere between 4 to 8 weeks to heal, just depending on, you know, how well he is or how well he's rehabbing and all that stuff. But we've already said Njoku's a tough guy. He literally burned his face and played that same week. So I think he's going to hit the rehab hard and try and come back. He's kind of the heart and soul of the offense, especially when Nick Chubb's not there. And then my last concern for the Browns, at least, is Kevin Stefanski's play calling. I mean, 2-time coach of the year, incredible coach. But at least this first week, his play calling seemed boring and unimaginative, and you know, it was a lot of what seemed like short passes. Now, I'm not sure if that was how it was drawn up or if that's how, you know, Deshaun was responding to the pressure. Can't take anything away from Dallas's defensive line. They've got Micah Parsons. They've got DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, those are 2 guys that are going to come screaming off the edges there. You know, I just... They've got some good guys in coverage as well. You know, Diggs out there. So I'm not sure if he just didn't see the receivers or if he just didn't have time or if he was just always ready for the check down. But I don't know. It seems a little scary that week 1 in Cleveland really brings some cause for concern for me personally. But I didn't want to just talk about the Browns. I did want to bring up another area of concern. You know, he had a really good first week, but Anthony Richardson went 9 for 19 on passing, and 2 of those were really long bombs. I think he threw 2 long touchdowns. So my concern is, you know, can he keep that up? We know what he does in the rushing department. I'm actually going to pull up his stats real quick.
Yeah, he had a 60-yard touchdown throw and a 54-yard with 2 short rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, and the
Um,
50-yard touchdown looked incredible, or the 60-yard touchdown, sorry, to Alec Pierce looked really good. It was a really, really long bomb. It looked like he slipped before it. He was able to regain his footing and then just bomb it into Alex Pierce's hands in a stride. So
Yeah.
he looked
That's
really good
impressive.
there. But like I said, I don't know. He's 9 for 19, kind of scary. He did go 6 for 56 on the ground with a touchdown, like Zoltowski said. But definitely kind of worrisome for that passing number there.
For sure.
So, Fish, let's get into your concerns for week 1.
So my concerns, guy had rookie last year, incredible talent, absolutely blew everyone away. Unfortunately, he went down with a knee injury, spraining his PCL. Puka Nacua. That guy had a lot of promise going into this year. He's only going to be out for 4+ weeks. But Mason, I know you had a similar injury. Not saying that you guys are the same because he's a lot better looking, but and an athlete, you know.
Yeah.
But your injury was the same thing. But you were out for what, 9 weeks? You said.
Yeah, 9 weeks. I played only 4 games of my junior year in high school.
So, not saying that Mason and Puka are the same people. They're not. But
Yeah, we're pretty close though.
yeah, I don't know. But it does raise concern that he's going to be at least out for 4 weeks plus some because they're not going to rush him back. They're not going to risk another injury. But we'll love to see him, Stafford, and Cooper Kupp go out there and actually destroy things, which honestly, Kupp kind of looks like he's back in stride. I know he did get a massive target share when Puka was out with 14 receptions on 21 targets for 110 yards and a touchdown. So don't put the Rams to bed just yet. Kupp is still there. He looks very good as long as he can stay healthy, especially with Kyron back there. And hopefully, if any Rams people are listening, Blake Corum is back there, by the way. If you guys want to use him at all, it'd be fantastic. But it does seem like Cooper Kupp is back in stride, back to where he was. So my big concern is with Puka and his knee and that PCL sprain. So that's where I'm at with that. That's my big concern for week 1.
That's fair.
Yeah, dude. Cooper Kupp getting 21 targets. I mean, to put that in perspective, the league leader in targets last year was CeeDee Lamb at 181. And he's already gotten 21 in week 1. That's crazy.
Yeah, that number is only going up with Puka being out. And
That is
that's
crazy.
going to be insane to see.
Puka is out for 4 weeks, like you said. He's going to be placed on IR. It looks like that's what Sean McVay said. He's a IR candidate. So, Mason, let's go into your decision making here.
Yeah. One guy needs a little bit better decision making. I could say 2, but one guy for sure. Like I said, I don't think Caleb Williams is bad. I think it's just getting the jitters out. It's his first game. You know, you can't expect. I mean, he's the number 1 pick. I mean, he's supposed to be a franchise changer, a league changer. But still, you can't expect everything on the first game. You know, you can't expect a Super Bowl MVP type performance on the first game. Let him get integrated. But with that being said, he still has to make better decisions. He still has to throw the ball away when he needs to. He still has to find, instead of throwing, you know, this isn't USC anymore in the Pac-12 where you could run backwards and throw 70 yards down the field on your back foot. No, guys are bigger, guys are faster, they're smarter, they're veterans, they've been in the league. You got to know when to get that ball out of the way. Your pocket presence has to be there. I mean, it just doesn't seem like he's making the right decisions. He's almost playing like he's still in college, and he needs to kind of stay grounded, find his way, find the quick read. You know, I feel like every play passing play he ran down, he almost scrambled almost every play and like panicked and just like started to try to do all this magic-y bull crap when he just needs to just make a throw. It's simple. Make a throw, and you'll be okay. So his decision making really needs to improve, and I think it will. He's young, he's a rookie. They're going to coach him well, and it'll improve. I say week 4, you know, you'll see him kind of in stride. I think it'll take that long though, for sure.
Yeah, sorry. I think I said Mason. What's your decision making? I meant to say what's your concern.
That's
For
okay.
this week, I was just reading the doc.
No, you're good.
But no, I completely agree. I didn't get to watch this game just because, like I said, I was traveling. But we can have a counter on how many times I said I was traveling if you guys want.
Yep.
I need a voice crack counter too.
Yeah, definitely need that one.
We
For
got a couple of those. No, for sure. He just seemed like he was trying to make some crazy things happen when he should have just read through his progressions and take what the defense gives him.
Yep.
So,
but yeah, I think he'll figure it out. I mean, it's coachable things, decision making. It's just it has to be done quickly in the NFL, unfortunately. So if it's not done quickly, then you get a guy like Daniel Jones who, was good for a year, and now he has probably the worst decision making in the entire league, in my opinion. And it's his last leg. If he doesn't perform this year, they're going to do something to get rid of him. So decision making has to be pretty quick and learned very quick in the NFL. And I think he'll be fine. He just needs to quit dancing around so much, is all.
Yeah, I agree. Breaking news: Jordan Mason just quit. But
best running back in the league.
Zolotowski, why don't you let us know your concern, because it's a little funny.
Yeah. We talked about this when we did the tier list for how many wins we think each team is going to get. But after week one, and say it's week one, whatever, I don't think the Panthers are going to win a single game this year. I think we're going to have another for season, add a third team to the list, and I don't think them getting number one overall is going to help. I mean, they got embarrassed by the Saints, and the Saints are an okay football team at best. It was 47-10. Bryce Young he's not it down there, and I watched one of their tackles just get ran over by the end. I mean, I would have quit on the spot if that happened to me on national television. But I just there's too many missing pieces there, too much rebuilding that needs to be done, and they play the Giants in Munich this year, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I saw you send that in the group chat. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough game. I don't think I'm gonna watch it.
Zolotowski, just real quick, fun fact for everyone listening. Who are the for teams in history?
Yeah, it's the Lions, 2008, number one.
Yeah.
First time it's ever happened.
Love that.
And number two,
Who is that?
Shout out Nutter. It's the Cleveland Clowns.
Yikes, dude.
Yikes. Dude,
they're on track. They're on track for another for this year.
They're not going to go over.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, oof.
The Art Modell curse lives on.
Yeah, it does.
If you don't know the Art Modell curse, Google it. I'm not getting into it on the podcast. At least not this one.
Hey, just call Peyton. He helped break the Bobby Lane curse. So maybe he can help you guys out? I don't know.
I doubt it.
Why not? All right. So that was our little week one review there. We're going to go into a week two preview. This is going to be just like what we did last week. We're all going to pick a game that we're excited for. We're going to give a reason why we chose the game and then some research on why. I'm going to, not really research, but just, I guess, why we're excited for the game. I'm going to go first for this one. Now, this is a game I am excited about. This is the Bucks at Lions. It's at 1 p.m. On the 15th next week. So on Sunday. Just a normal 1 o'clock game. But Zolotowski's not going to like me saying this, but the reason I'm picking this game is because both offenses look great and both defenses don't look too good right now. I agree with you on the defense. Okay, you do?
Yeah. No.
Outside of Alex Anzalone, you guys are...
Our secondary. I know Arnold's a rookie, but he had, I think, 3 penalties called on him last night for PI. And
and you guys got Hutch too, so Hutch looks pretty good.
But... Yeah, no, Hutch always looks good. He always draws people, early, delay a lot of false starts. I mean, because he's so quick and so elusive. So, but I mean, 2 players can't hold the whole defense.
Yeah, I'm looking at the box score here. Anzalone was the only guy with double-digit solo tackles at 10. He did have 3 tackles for loss, which is good.
29 fantasy points.
Your boy Hutch did have a sack, a tackle for loss, 4 quarterback hits, but Bryant Branch actually had 3 passes defended, which is pretty good. So, I just think that the Buccaneers offense, I can't believe I'm saying this, with Baker Mayfield at the helm, is just going to be, an incredible thing to watch at Ford Field next week. They're playing in a dome, so weather's not going to be a factor at all, whether it be too hot, too cold, anything like that. Baker, Mason already alluded to it earlier. He went 24 for 30, 289, 4 touchdowns, and an 86.1 QBR this week, which I think is probably the highest. I haven't really looked into that, so don't quote me on that, but it's got to be up there. He did throw the ball around quite a bit. It seems like his favorite target right now is Chris Godwin until they get down to the end zone, which is where that big body from Mike Evans comes in. Rachaad White caught a lot of balls out of the backfield, but his rushing numbers just didn't seem to be what they used to be. But they do have a little spark plug in the backfield right now, Bucky Irving. I've been really high on Bucky Irving. He's 5'10", 195 pounds. He's not very big. They took him in the 4th round out of Oregon this year. He rushed 62 yards on 9 attempts with 6.9 yards per carry. So he looks pretty promising back there. And, you've got the two receivers there, Godwin, Evans. I mean, they're going to catch damn near anything you throw their way. Godwin had 8 targets. He caught all 8. Mike Evans had 6 targets. He caught 5 of them. 3 touchdowns between the two. So I kind of see those two feasting next week. See Baker Mayfield being, just slinging the ball around. When he's healthy, man, he's a hell of a player. He said on another podcast where he was talking about how things ended in Cleveland, and he said, hindsight, he probably should have just sat out, let his shoulder heal, and let the team do their thing. It is hard to hear him say that, especially with the week 1 we just had versus the week 1 he just had, and thinking what might have been if he stayed in Cleveland. But Brown's Twitter is very torn on that at the moment. Anyways, I digress. Jared Goff on the other side, we know he can sling the ball around. He needs to get the ball to Amon-Ra more. But your guys, the Lions ground attack is amazing. I mean, David Montgomery closing out that game, putting his head down. I mean, he looked like a tank out there.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, he could have played another half of football. That man did not look tired. And then in the post game, it didn't even look like he was sweating.
No,
I mean, he's just built different, an animal.
And Jahmyr Gibbs even on the ground was great. Yeah. I mean, 11 carries for 40 yards. That's almost 4 yards a carry. But he had some receiving out of the backfield as well. 34 yards on 4 receptions with 6 targets. And then, the unsung hero of the Lions game for me is Jameson Williams. He had 9 targets, only hauled in 5 of those, but in those 5 he had 121 yards and 1 touchdown. Big plays by him. But I'd like to see Goff throw the ball a little bit more to Amon-Ra. He only had 6
think they
targets.
will, because
I think Amon-Ra really got focused there by the Rams defense.
Yeah, well, and the Bucks, so their starting cornerback McCollum he left the game against Washington with a concussion, so he's probably out next week. And then Bryce Hall, his season's done. He dislocated his ankle and fractured his leg. And then another cornerback has an ankle injury. So their secondary kind of got depleted this week.
Yeah, okay.
So Goff might have a heyday with J-Mo and Amon-Ra and Laporta and Gibbs out of the backfield. I mean, he might throw just for a ton of yards.
So whatever we're saying, if you're a betting person, hammer that over on this game because this is going to be a shootout. I mean, it's got all the makings for it for sure.
100%.
I think it's going to be a great game to watch. It's probably going to be the game I'm watching at 1:00, aside from the Browns game, at the bar. So I'm really excited to watch this. Watch how this unfolds here.
Or we could just go. Tickets are only $200 a piece plus fees. I mean, we could go.
That is a lot of travel time going up there.
But I mean, it's Ford Field, man.
It's true. It's true.
Great it's a wonderful atmosphere.
So we'll have to go to a game up there, Zoltowski, if the rest of the guys don't want to. We can go to a game up there soon.
Hopefully we can watch Jordan Mason just, play. By the way, he's got another 12 yards. Just
they play at the end of the year.
We're running the ball down their throat right now.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Fish, let's go into your preview for your week 2 game here.
Absolutely. So both teams, my game of the week that I'm looking at, kind of focusing on a little bit. Obviously, I'll be watching at the bar as well on Sundays. But it is the Bengals and Chiefs. At Arrowhead, we know how that atmosphere is. I talked to a bunch of Bengals fans on Sunday, and they
wait. At where?
Is it at Arrowhead?
At Burrowhead?
No, leave. Go.
No.
Get out of here.
Just trying to make Mason come out of his slumber, dude.
Yeah, right. Got it.
I was just sitting here listening, and be like, man, this is going great. And then I heard that bullshit, so I had to unmute.
Glad you could join the call.
I just had to say it. I had to say it. I'll never say that again.
100%.
I will never say that again.
You might convert into a Bengals fan, to be honest with you.
No.
I don't know.
I mean, orange is already part of the wardrobe. You're halfway there.
I'll watch flag football before I continue to watch.
Let's go to the Olympics.
Yep. Anyway, they're playing at Arrowhead. We know how that atmosphere is. It's for some reason they had bad blood with each other, especially going into the playoffs last few years. Chiefs, their offense almost looks revamped. No suspension as of right now on Rice. He seems to be that possession breakaway guy, which that's exactly what he did in week 1. Destroyed the offense there with 7 of 9 receptions for 100 yards. And then obviously the new speedster that they have, the new Tyreek Hill, has just done insane things. So I'm kind of anticipating this to be a shootout. So I think Burrow kind of set in. I think this is a different game. It's not, to them, I don't think it's a regular season game. I think this is something to kind of like build off that momentum. We can beat the Chiefs. We can go into week 3, 4, 5 going forward. I think if they lose to the Chiefs, I think that confidence just absolutely drained. Now, again, Burrow did play decently last week. Accuracy-wise, was 21 of 29 for 164. Chase, I know he was a little under the weather, caught all 6 of his balls for about 50 yards, but missed Patty. 20 of 28 for 291, a touchdown and an interception, but both Rice and Worthy, 9 of 12 for 150 yards, 21 rushing, and 2 total touchdowns. I know last year when they played against each other twice, Kansas City won both. So I'm kind of anticipating the same thing, but definitely a game to watch. It's going to be a shootout, I think. Anticipate a high-scoring game, especially with both defenses being somewhat mediocre and not up to their mid-season form. So that's my game of the week to watch.
You mentioned Worthy, dude. I remember audibly watching him break the combine record for fastest 40. I remember saying, we can't let the Chiefs get that guy. The Chiefs got that guy. And now he's just
so fast.
I mean, it's Andy Reid is just an absolute Michelin star chef cooking up plays for his players.
Damn right.
And he's incredible. And then you got Patrick Mahomes, the guy who emulates the Nebraska quarterback there.
Whoa!
What? Is that wrong?
Ridiculous here.
Is it the other way around? That's my bad. But yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch too. And what time is that game?
It's at 4:25 on that one. So everyone is going to be glued to that one. That's for sure. I'm surprised it's not a Sunday night game, to be honest, because that's going to be a hell of a game to watch. So
that's probably going to be the Tom Brady game this week.
I would love that.
Did you guys happen to look up Legion of Zoom to prove from last episode that I was correct? They called the Chiefs receiving core back in the day the Legion of Zoom.
Unfortunately, I think Zoltowski did, and you
I
were
did, and we weren't going to tell you, but you asked. So,
Yeah.
you were right. I will
Tyreek
say
Hill,
First
Sammy
time for everything.
Watkins, Miko Hardman. They called it the Legion of Zoom.
Yeah, all
Oh,
right.
Yes,
they might
we-
have a new Legion of Zoom.
God.
Guys, we
They
should have
might.
just said no. We should have just said we had no idea what he was talking about.
No, dude. I need the validation.
Speaking of validation, Mason, why don't you go ahead and give us your game
Yeah.
of the week that you're looking
Yeah,
at?
for sure. My game of the week, a little weird one, but I'm really excited to watch this one because both defenses are horrible. Again, one offense is really high powered, and one is just led by one man, and that's the Bills versus the Dolphins. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Josh Allen. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of the Dolphins. I mean, it's the same as last year. It's not going to get them to the Super Bowl or nothing because they don't change their game plan when it comes to the playoffs, and it's super easy to guard once you figure it out. So, with that being said, I think Josh Allen is making an early, keep in mind, MVP case. If he keeps it up like this, it's going to be nice. And the Dolphins, they're just a high-powered offense. I mean, you got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. That might be the true Legion of Zoom. Any team that Tyreek Hill's on might be the Legion of Zoom. Let's be real. But I mean, it's just gonna be a fun game to watch. I think it's probably gonna be another high-scoring game as long as the Bills can kind of get their receiving core in check. Which the young receiving core they had did not look bad last game. Keon Coleman made some plays. Khalil Shakir made some solid catches and put up some decent numbers. I think he just gets his tight ends more involved. But it'll be fun. That game I'm really looking forward to. AFC divisional matchup. So it'll be fun. It'll be really cool.
You know,
Mace,
Mason,
is that the Thursday night game, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, that's in 2 days.
That's going to be a really fun one to watch. You're right.
Yeah.
Mason, you bring up that receiving core. Don't sleep on that receiving core, by the way.
No, they're young, man. They're figure it out. They're going to be just fine.
Yeah, everyone think. I mean, Stephon Diggs did get. He got 2 touchdowns or whatever. But that receiving core is young and they're hungry.
Yeah.
They're all like, oh yeah, I can step up to the plate now and be the number one. And
Yeah.
I mean, Josh Allen's going to do Josh Allen things, but
For sure.
don't sleep on that receiving core. I think that
No, not
they're
at
going
all.
to be just fine.
Yeah, I think they'll be
I
fine.
think-
Their defense is kind of subpar. They lost some pieces, but so is the Dolphins. They also lost a lot of pieces. I mean, they're still trying to figure it out. But I don't know. That'll be a high-scoring game, I feel like. Not a high-scoring game. I think it'll be a back-and-forth game at least.
I definitely will, that's for sure.
Yeah, the game's on Prime too, so make sure you have your 7th subscription you need to watch football.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't get me started.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much all I got for that one.
Soltowski, you
Yep,
got yours?
I'll finish mine. I did pick one. I kind of didn't want to pick the Lions again, but not made a lot of good points. But I have the Packers Colts game on my list as my game to watch. Jordan Love got hurt at the end of week 1 there, but he has not been ruled out yet actually officially, which I know it's still early, but like he has an MCL sprain. It's been confirmed, which is normally a 3 to 6 week recovery timeline. So I don't know if they'll put a robot leg on him, make him play or something. But
they
if he
need to. With Malik Willis taking over behind, right? They need
Yeah,
to.
that's gonna be rough. That's gonna be scary to watch.
yeah, that's my next point. When they officially were like, oh yeah, he's not playing, so he doesn't destroy his leg. How's that offense really going to function? Are they just going to run the ball a lot? Are they going to do short, quick passes? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. And then, like Nut touched on earlier with Anthony Richardson, really inconsistent. He's made a lot of good throws, but then not a lot of good throws. Just 2 long TDs and then took it at himself twice. Again, we always say it's week 1, figuring it out, but and if he can figure it out and it starts clicking, I think that he'll also be another fun quarterback to watch. So that'll be a game that I'm watching and rooting for the Packers to lose, of course. Go Lions. But yeah, I think it'll be fun. And then we'll also watch the Tom Brady game, the Cowboys Saints.
Yep.
That's the only reason we'll watch it is for Tom Brady.
Honestly, do you think Malik Willis lasts a week as the starter? I think he just goes this weekend, and then they sign a free agent like
they're
Joe
gonna
Flacco or somebody.
they're gonna be playing quarterback roulette. That's what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Well, Flacco's on a team.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Flacco
He
is-
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's at the Colts.
Yeah, that's right. Damn.
So
Well, yeah, I was just saying somebody like him. You know.
no. I
They could
understand.
trade him mid-game. It's
Yeah, they
happened in
could.
baseball all the time.
Yeah, true.
Hey, speaking of baseball, real quick. First MLB player to play for two different teams in the same game. He got traded to the Red Sox, and the game mid-game it got delayed. Someone had to take his at bat, and then he caught for the Red Sox. So, just a little fun fact there.
Do they trade for a backup?
I think you have to.
I mean, if he's only out 4 weeks, why would you? But again, you could trade for, gosh, I mean, any of the Eagles backups will get
Nope.
you a bye.
Untouchable. Nope. And Nick Foles already retired, so
Kenny
that's-
Pickett's untouchable.
you could have small hands Pickett. That
Yeah.
guy is awful.
I
Oh
mean, you
my.
could even go with, gosh, what's the guy I'm thinking of? Oh, Russell Wilson. They ain't starting him. He's finna get pissed. I mean, throw it like a draft pick out there, and he'll be good.
Russell's not worth the draft pick.
No.
Sorry,
Like I
sorry
said,
for the
it'll be
oh my
interesting.
god in the middle there. Aaron Rodgers just pulled an Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I seen that.
The
Yeah, that was
defense jumped off
crazy. Yeah,
sides and then
that's
he
what he's
scored
known for.
a long
Yeah.
touchdown. That's crazy. Anyway, sorry about that.
Yeah, I mean, if he's out long term, I could see them definitely trading for a decent, backup.
Yeah,
What's
I
Russell
don't know,
Wilson's
man.
contract? Is it 2 years, 1 year? Does anyone know off the top of their head?
I don't think they're going to get rid of Russ. I mean, I don't think they were super impressed with Justin Fields
Yeah, true.
week one. I do think that there's a possibility that they could get what is his name? Oh, this is gonna bug me. I'm sorry.
You got it. I believe in you.
I don't have it.
Yes, you do.
The Pastronaut. What's his name? He's not on an
Oh.
NFL
Oh.
roster right now.
Josh Dobbs.
Joshua Dobbs. Yeah, I
Joshua
talked
Dobbs.
about him earlier.
The
Yeah, I
49ers
think-
right now.
Is he with the 49ers right now?
Yeah, he's with the
I thought he
49ers.
was a free agent, so maybe that's not going to be an option for them. But he was the first one I thought of for sure
Yeah.
because I think he played in Tennessee with Matt LaFleur's brother.
Ooh.
So, and that coaching tree is all part of the Shanahan tree, which is where he's at now with the Shanahan, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do there for sure. Zoltowski, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I
Um,
said, and the outcomes of that as well. Like, hey, do we need to add? Like, you guys made great points about their backup situation because it's non-existent right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, Malik, I don't know. I don't know what to expect out of him.
He almost
Yeah.
seems scared to throw the ball at times. It's like he'd rather run it than throw it.
I don't think you're wrong there. And he got so much hype coming
Yeah, he
out of
did.
Liberty.
Yeah.
Like I'm wondering if he's ever going to feel comfortable in the NFL because he was not playing anywhere near this caliber of defense. In
No,
college.
not even close.
So it's just interesting. You think that maybe the Packers could make a trade for Trey Lance?
Maybe. I mean, the
That's a guy I
Cowboys
thought
still
of,
have
too.
Cooper Rush. You know what I mean? So I could see the Trey Lance happening. Especially
Yeah.
now that they just signed Dak. That's definitely possible.
Yeah, I think Jerry Jones needs the money, so I mean, I think it would just take cash.
Yeah.
Could.
He's got to pay Mika coming up.
Mika.
Micah, it's gonna be
Mika.
Hey, Mika Parsons, dude.
Oh, no, wait. Mika Parsons?
I think he's French, right? Just like Wayne Gallman.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of people blaming the Eagles for that injury, Jordan Love?
Yeah,
What's-
that's
what's
fair.
the
Did you
big
not see
tackle's
how the
name?
hell he grabbed his
Yeah.
knee?
I think
Jalen
anything.
Carter.
I think anything looks
Hey, he
bad in
was-
slow motion though.
Yeah, and I mean
No.
he was engaged with the lineman, so he was trying to just get away and make a tackle because it was a close game.
And I don't think,
I don't think
Jalen
there's-
Carter knew that the ball was out either.
Yeah, I don't think there was any intentions there. It just
No
was a rough
intentions.
situation.
And it was on that bad field, which the only person that didn't seem to have any issues with that field was Saquon. But
Dog.
you know, dude, it makes you think.
No,
Like
he did the first play of the game.
that's true. He did slip first play of the game. It makes you think like they harp on player safety so much, but it seems like every game that is played overseas is just
Shit.
the
Fields are awful.
fields are awful. They're just like not
Yeah.
ready
I mean,
for
soccer-
NFL
Well,
players.
Just
Or
look at
soccer fields.
last
You don't
year.
really have as much cutting and diving and.
Well, it's also
jiving.
like what 130-pound dudes running around opposed
yeah,
to
it's
like
just 5'8".
220.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
with
then you get up to like
pads and
340
stuff,
with
yeah.
linemen.
yeah,
It's just
So,
a different
I don't
game. I
yeah.
don't
Soccer fields aren't football fields by any means.
Yeah.
I think they're a lot harder to make that ball roll, stuff like that, and it's kind of tough to definitely get some traction on it.
But you know what are football fields?
What?
College football fields.
Whoa.
Oh,
that
transition,
was
big transition here.
nice.
Whoa. Okay, big transition, dude.
All right.
Like it.
And we're going to get into our favorite college football traditions. This is going to be a tough draft for a lot of people. I know not a lot of us here are college football fans. I think really Zoltowski and I are probably the biggest two. Well, Mason loves Oklahoma, but
I went to college.
I can tell you one Oklahoma tradition right now.
Went to
and
a
it'll be on
hockey
my
school.
well,
draft.
hold on. We got to get the
I'll say it'll be on my draft.
Unless I take it from you.
Sorry, I added too many boxes.
You don't know it.
Don't look at that.
Please don't
Well-
take any of mine.
We'll
You
edit
don't
this
know
out.
it. You're not from Oklahoma. You
We'll
don't
edit
know.
this out.
Wait.
All right, I'm going to get the randomizer out here again.
Come on, 1-1.
Give me a second.
Yeah. No, I just want first overall, man. That was fun last time.
Never got one first
Randomized.
overall.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Oh,
Is it me?
Oh, here's the random list order for this draft. Number 1, Fish again.
Yay!
Oh
Oh my
my
god, this
Number
shit is so
2.
rigged.
Number 2, Zoltowski.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take
Number
it.
3, Mason. And I'm bringing up
I'm
the
always
rear.
number 3.
You're
No,
not always number 3. You've
you're
been 2
last.
before.
Moron.
All right. So, like we
Moron.
said, this is our favorite college football traditions. The list goes Fish, Zoltowski, Mason, and then myself. So, Fish, why don't you kick us off with your favorite college football tradition? You get the 1-1 here.
I mean, this college here, it's something about seeing and hearing 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people all in unison, some on somewhat of a perfect harmony, singing a classic John Denver song, much that we sing in Overwatch all the time. I have to go with West Virginia Country Roads.
Take me home.
I
Great
see.
one.
It's. I mean,
Great
that
one.
is just. It's coming at them.
Copyright strike.
Whoa. I think to be in that stadium, that would be so cool to witness and be a part of. I mean, that's just. I can't imagine. I mean, that's just a staple. I mean, we sing it at random. I mean, you mentioned Country Roads, and Mason was already singing it. So I like that one a lot. I thought that was really, really cool. I think that's a great, as one team mentality. All the fans join in, players as well. Everyone singing Country Road. It's a classic. So that's my 1-1. It might be a blasphemy thing, but I really enjoyed it.
I mean,
No, that's a good pick. I don't
I
know
like
if that would
it.
have been my 1-1, but that's a good pick.
That's a good one.
that's
All right,
a good one.
Zoltowski, you're next. Let's see. What kind of tradition do you have here?
All right, so this one I just really like. I think it's just something cool. So it's the Hawkeye wave that Iowa does. So
Damn, dude, you just took him
Son
on.
of a.
Yeah, this was one of
it's
mine
a good
for sure.
it's a good
It's
one.
wholesome.
I mean,
it's great. It's a good one.
Exactly.
It's a good.
And
That
in the
is a
first
good one.
quarter, they all turn. They wave to the kids who are fighting who knows what in that hospital. It probably brings them more joy than they can, that they need. They need that at the time. And then there's a kid captain who gets to pick the song, and they're staying at the hospital. So it's just a really cool, wholesome thing. It's just awesome that they do it. But I really enjoy it. And it's in college football, which is even cooler. Like, they do it in game.
Definitely. That is definitely one of the best ones. It's always really cool to see both teams participate there. So, Mason, you got third pick here. What do you got?
Okay.
Sure no one's going to be surprised at this one.
No, actually, I'm going a different direction, believe it or not. I'm going to go with what more hype can you get? You guys actually live pretty close to this tradition. And it's super hype when it happens, and it's always during prime time against a big-time team. And the whole stadium wears the same color at a certain place. The Penn State whiteout games. Come on. The atmosphere there is unmatched. It is really fun. I'm not even a Penn State fan, but I've always dreamed of going to one of those games.
Hey, man, I just remember that clip of Michigan having to call the timeout.
Yep.
Because of the fans.
I'm telling you.
Mo Bamba comes on and everyone loses it.
That was definitely one of mine for sure.
Yeah, that's my third pick.
All three of these were on my list. The wave.
Those are the most famous ones, to be fair.
We're pretty high there, yeah, for sure. Man, I'm like having to figure out what I'm going to do for my second pick, but for my first pick, this is pretty easy to get for me. I actually saw it this week at the Browns game. The Ohio State marching band was there for halftime, and they performed the dotting the I, Script Ohio. It's just incredible to witness. The band's just, it's really cool when they get four of them going. We saw two on each sideline, but if you don't know what it is, the drum major, is that what you call that guy? The head of the...
Yes.
So
and
he marches out.
Was going to pick this nut. Believe it or not, this was on my list. I've seen this in person.
It's
at
incredible.
The shoe, and it is, I can agree with it. It's wonderful. We should probably see if we can find videos of these and share it to the social medias.
Yeah. I agree with that. It's a militaristic band is what they call the Ohio State marching band. And you see this take place, and it is very much lives up to that name. The marching, the knowing when to lower your instrument, to cross paths with your peer. They spell it out in cursive, so it's not like they're just lining up in letters or anything. The whole band goes through the entire Script Ohio, and then on the I, it's usually dotted by a sousaphone. Usually some senior that's in their fourth year of eligibility for the band. Sometimes they do have some celebrities do it, like I believe week 1 for Ohio State they had Archie Griffin dot the I. So that's always cool to see as well, but it's just an amazing thing to witness and watch and see perform. So that's my first pick, dotting the I at Ohio State.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one. I like it as a Michigan fan. Like I said, it's impressive. Their band, their halftime shows are always a big hit to see.
Yeah, definitely. My next one is probably the Clemson walkout. I'm not sure what exactly it's called.
It's just Howard's Rock.
Howard's Rock, yeah.
Yep.
When they walk out in Death Valley, dude, that is
cool.
That is an awesome electric environment.
It's called the most exciting 25 seconds in college football.
Yeah, it's definitely fun to watch for sure. They'll come down that hill in one of the end zones and just get introduced there. I'm curious to know if anyone's ever fallen and caused a chain reaction, but
right.
it's
just
definitely
the goog, man.
Yeah, definitely a cool thing to see. So That's my two. Mason, what about you? We'll go back to you here for your second pick.
Yeah, no, that's great. Speaking of entrances and walkouts, I think the second most entertaining in the league would have to be all the way up in Autzen, Oregon, the motorcycle entrance. Every time that little duck gets on that motorcycle and rides it to the 50-yard line with a team behind him, it just gets me going, man. It's fun to watch. I used to be in love with Oregon when I was little, and that was one of my favorite things to watch. Is that little duck ride that motorcycle, man. Pretty cool.
It's a big duck, Mason, not a little duck.
Well, he's little to me, man. I'm a big guy.
Good pick. I like it. No, Oregon's always fun. Always flashy. They have the best jerseys in college football because I'm pretty sure one of the guys from Nike went to Oregon, so they just get whatever they want.
Well, the creator of Nike went to Oregon and he's from Oregon.
That's what it is.
Pretty sure Nike HQ's right by the college.
Yeah, it
isn't
is. It's like 3 miles away.
Yeah, their jerseys are unmatched every time.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go with my second pick now. We'll just keep the entrance trend going. But this one is always electric to see. It's just insane. But Virginia Tech, when they come out to enter Sandman, man. One, love Metallica. And
You
two,
bastard. Damn it.
Dude,
what is that? I'm just out here robbing the bank. It's a good one. It's a good
one.
It's a good one.
College football. It's a different environment, man.
Dude, that stadium, I'm shocked that stadium has not just collapsed due to all the jumping.
Yeah.
Every single person in that stadium's jumping. I swear, even if you're not a Virginia Tech fan, I feel like you just got to jump in on it.
I want to go just to experience it in person. Like just one time in my life. There's just a lot of these I would love to go see. No, I watch the game. I'm all for football, man.
It's definitely a good pick. Fish, what about your second pick? You're on the turn here too, buddy.
Oh, I love a good turn. I'm going to go ahead and go with, it's a little twofer, right? So a little bit two traditions at the one school. So I'm going to go ahead and start off and go with the Vol Navy. I think it's such a cool concept that everyone, tailgates, but they're actually on boats. And they develop so many boats, so many people arrive to this, to UT, that they essentially have their own Navy. People grill, barbecue, do everything they want. They got a drink there. But once all the drinking has stopped for a second, they actually end up going down the Vol Walk, which typically starts about 2.5 hours before the game starts. Walk starts with a torchbearer statue where it continues down the amazing Peyton Manning pass. I mean, why not just name after one of the best quarterbacks ever? It's a tradition that all the fans, everybody walks down, the players walk down, and it's just the atmosphere of being able to look around left, right, forward, back, and nothing but thousands of fans screaming, yelling, hyping you up as you walk into the stadium. So absolutely insane. That's got to be my 2-2, or 2-1, 2-4, something like that. So
yeah, it's a great pick. Is that your pick for 2-4 and then 3-1?
No, actually 3-1. I got different. I want a little twofer because I'm a little pissed off that Zoltastic took both of mine.
Sorry, buddy.
But I figured we kind of bring it home. Back in Ohio, again, not an Ohio State fan, but hearing the victory bell, I guess they win a lot, apparently, right now. You guys win a good amount. So I know that the bell has now been moved into the southeast tower of the Ohio State Stadium. But the bell, fun fact, is 2,420 pounds. Which is absolutely insane. And whenever they win Alpha Phi Omega fraternity, they go ahead and have the honor to ring the bell, which I think is a really cool thing, especially if you're a part of a fraternity. I wasn't. I wish I did, but it's such a cool thing to be able to just go ahead after the victory, which happens quite often, to ring that bell. It just really captures everybody. And, of course, the after parties after the Ohio State winning is uncanny, I hear. So that is my 3-1 on the turnaround.
It's a great pick as well. Yeah,
it's a good pick. So 3-2 up here. So if this one doesn't count, I have a backup. but I want your guys' verdict on this one. But waking up early Saturday morning, turning on game day, and the one thing in game day we always wait for is the headgear pick.
Lee Corso pick?
Wow.
Yeah, the Lee Corso pick.
The Lee
That is
Corso
a great
pick.
one.
Yeah,
That is a good
I
one.
mean, if you guys want to count that, or if we just want to go school specific, but I'm just thinking
that's a tradition. I mean, it incorporates all schools.
yeah, and
Yeah. It is a tradition. I'm gonna accept it. I can get down with that. That's a good one.
I mean, dude, it's just always so fun to see. He's wild. I know he's getting up there in age, but he's still out there making his picks.
To go off yours, one of my favorite things about that, and it was when Pat McAfee kind of did it, was when he sang the whole Georgia little theme song thing, and he said,
Yes, I know
"I'm
what you're talking
taking
about.
Alabama."
I'll never not watch that clip.
Who's that running down the track?
That is
Every
that's
time it comes on
iconic.
TikTok, the whole
Yeah, that
time
was
I watch
great.
the whole thing.
He did the whole thing, and then just, "I'm taking Alabama."
Theo Von is just mind blown.
yeah. Trey
All right,
Williams
Mace.
is hurt, by the way.
Yeah, just always going to locker.
Yeah, I just saw Trent Williams go in the locker room. It's crazy.
All right. Mine is going to be one that sits close to home. I think it's really fun. I think it's really cool that they do it. It's an OU tradition. After every field goal at a home game, we don't use nets on our field goals. We're actually one of the only colleges that still don't use a net behind the field goal. So it goes straight into the crowd. But you know what the crowd is forced to do, or they would be booed and escorted out of the stadium? They have to turn around and chuck the ball out of the stadium. And if they can't, they pass it up like a chain, and it has to go all the way up out the stadium and out. So it's kind of cool. After every field goal that happens, the ball just goes out of the stadium, whether a guy with a rocket arm throws it or they pass it up to somebody else to throw it.
I actually did not know that was a
Yeah.
thing.
Neither did I, and that's really cool. I like that. Good pick, Mace.
I'm not sure how I'm going to put that. Does that have a name? I'm going to put that on the
I don't
graphic.
know. I don't know. The field goal, I don't know. Couldn't tell
Field
you.
goal,
But it happens
stadium
every
exit.
OU football game. Every field goal they make.
All right, I'll figure it out. I'll put something down for that. But, all right. So my last two picks here. One of these, this was always funny to watch, especially during Chip Kelly's reign in Oregon. It is the push-ups that the Duck has to do
yes.
for each point.
Yes.
For each point, yeah.
Oh, and the one year where they scored like 70.
So yeah, there's a game here I'm looking at.
Yeah.
It's just the picture they have. Oregon's mascot's name is Puddles, by the way, and Oregon scored 81 points against Portland State.
Yes, that
And
was
this
last year.
this person in this costume is just so sore. I'm sure the next
Yeah.
day, because it's not.
46 push-ups.
Yeah, it's not only like
Golly.
so they do it after every score. So it's not just like at the end of the game, this guy does 81
Yeah.
push-ups. It's they get a field goal, there's 3. If they
Yeah,
get
but if you're scoring 81
touchdown,
points, you're scoring like every 5-6 minutes. Easy.
right,
It's just exponential.
yeah,
Yeah.
they just have to keep doing after every score. They have to do the amount of push-ups on the board. So
Oh wow.
that's definitely a cool tradition there
that
that
one.
I'm sure some people hate that their team wins.
Yeah,
by
I like
that
that
much.
one. That's cool.
My last one here, I'm between two. Not sure if I want to take one from Mason or if I want to go
Go ahead, take one.
off
Let's
the
see it.
coast here.
I want to see what you take. Maybe it'll be your honorable mention if you don't take it.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with the haka that the University of Hawaii does.
Damn you!
I love watching any. I don't even know how to say this, but I guess is it Morai people? Is that how you say that? Maori Maori people. I love watching, every time they do that in, whether it be the University of Hawaii game, whether it be any type of, rugby game. It's so cool to see.
It is cool.
It is imposing as well. Like
Yeah.
the facial expressions, how they're all, together in unison, also kind of adding their own individual flair. Each person has. It's just a really, really cool thing that they do. And it really, it's neat that it goes back to their roots there. So that's definitely one of the cooler traditions I've seen.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Mason, will let you close it out, and I'm sure you're going to pick what I was about to pick.
Actually, I'm not, believe it or not. I'm going with one that I really like because it hits home with my favorite NFL team. And actually, this place did it first. And that's the FSU, in the stands. The game's about to start. They hit the axe chop. They're actually the ones that do it first, and the Chiefs fans stole it from them. But I think it's really cool. I enjoy that. It gets the whole stadium hype. So loud. Everybody in the stadium does it. So you just see a bunch of arms going back and forth. It's just really cool. So FSU does it better than the Chiefs fans, in my opinion, because it's their tradition. It's their thing that they started, and the Chiefs kind of stole it from them a long time ago. But yeah, that's my last one.
Yeah, I like that one too. That's definitely a fun one to watch. Zoltowski,
last pick here. Buddy. There's actually two that I'm between, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Keith Osceola's spear plant in Florida State. He comes out on Renegade and just plants the spear. I mean, that's just cool that they're, honoring their, what the team's named after. It's just electric, great atmosphere. Even though the team's terrible this year.
Shout out DJU.
I mean, it's just cool.
Yeah, DJU.
I just enjoy it.
That was definitely on my list there. That's a cool thing to watch. Osceola spear plant. That's what it's called. Okay.
Yes, the Osceola.
Just want to make sure I spell that right for the graphic.
Fish, what you thinking? What are you rounding it off here with?
Oh man, because this has been such a good draft so far for me. A couple weeks ago, I went to a UC game for their home opener. First time I've ever been out there for a UC game. And they have a tradition every home opener. They have a guy skydive in.
Oh, shoot.
It's absolutely so sick. It was so cool just to kind of watch him go around and around and around up in the air, and then he would land on the field. I thought that was such a cool... That doesn't necessarily hype the team up, but it's just something very interesting, very fun for the fans, especially the kids. You saw a lot of families pointing up saying, hey, look at this guy. And then you got both these guys coming down, parachuting down, which was really sick to me. So I know I was up there just staring at the sky, caught a glimpse of the sun a couple times, but we focused back to the guys diving in. But I thought that was a really cool thing. Great thing for the fans. It was just something you don't really see every day. So I thought that was pretty sick.
Is he bringing in the game ball? Is that what he's doing? Or is he just...
No, he's simply just going in.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
He lands on the field, and then he packs his stuff up and heads out.
That's cool.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty sick. I thought it was cool. You don't see that every day. You're not going to catch my ass skydiving. Absolutely not.
No, I'm out on that.
Yeah, same.
I'd actually love to, now that I'm thinking about it.
That checks out.
Yeah. That's a good one. So
I think that was a good draft.
Yeah, I think so. I
want
to know
any honorable mentions.
I want to know yours, Nard. Which one were you thinking of stealing from me? Because I think I'm thinking of it.
So the one I thought you were going to pick for sure is the
Sooner Schooner.
The Sooner Schooner.
I was debating that one or the Florida State one, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Definitely thought you were going to go with that.
OSU does kind of the same thing, and I hate that they started doing that.
Another one I thought somebody would take is the Ralphie's run, the Bison's run from the University of Colorado.
I thought about that one. I did.
I thought that was going to be something cool, but maybe in the future we'll do a mascot draft too.
I had USC, the sword stab. I don't know. I just
that's what I was thinking. The sword
Fields
stab
getting stabbed, I guess, but it's just fun. It's anything can happen. You got Notre Dame, the Play Like a Champion Today. Sign
I'm,
that one.
I'm shocked you didn't pick that one, actually, Zach.
That one, I just went more for, things that even the fans can see, really. So I don't think, do they have cameras in the tunnel?
I think so.
They might. I haven't caught a Notre Dame game on TV like at the beginning in a while. I did make sure to watch the Texas A&M game week 1, and I watched a little bit of the upset last week. And then you also have, as much as I hate the SEC, Toomer's Corner in Auburn, where they TP the trees.
Yeah.
But those are my three.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot.
My honorable
there's a lot of good
mention
ones.
is the Sooner Schooner, which you already took. I love that. And then the Wisconsin Jump Around. Do you know that they play every Wisconsin game before the game? They play the Jump Around, jump, and pretty much the whole stadium does it. It's pretty cool.
They've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah, they have.
Another one for Auburn is the War Eagle Fly. Surprised nobody brought that one up
that's a
either.
good
But
one.
Yeah,
that one's a cool one too. So, yeah, I mean, college football, man, a lot of traditions out there. We probably left some off this list, but you can always let us know if we missed your favorite one. So,
yeah.
Definitely something we would like to keep going.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll find some new traditions eventually.
I'm surprised you guys
some of
didn't.
these I didn't know about.
I'm surprised you guys didn't go with an Ohio State one. Isn't your marching band like the best ever?
Yeah, this is my first pick.
Yeah, it's literally first
Oh yeah,
pick.
duh.
Mason.
Oh my god. Never mind.
You were muted.
I'm looking
You were
now.
muted.
I was not muted. I was watching the game, but I remember you saying that. I just completely forgot.
Yeah, dot in the eye. It's so neat.
That's great.
Dude, I don't want to continue talking about their band, but
I could talk about their band for a long time.
That's a cool experience.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, so that is the show for this week. You could always find us on our socials, Game Time Gents, everywhere. We are going to continue to do our weekly Wednesday releases. This is probably the format you can expect for the foreseeable future during the week or during the NFL season. We're going to go ahead and, do our little reviews from the previous week, also do a preview for the week next. And then we're also going to close with a draft every week. So, just kind of get used to this format. Hopefully you guys like this. And we're also going to go ahead and, we're going to continue with tier lists a little bit. But those are going to be off the podcast. So you can expect to physically see us do those tier lists on our YouTube. So we're going to go ahead and just continue to voice over those and kind of show our thoughts between, picking what we're picking. So we're just going to close out the podcast. I didn't want to announce this at the beginning, but at the end, I'm going to announce it. Hopefully this podcast has music between, the topics and also the beginning and the end. So if you like it, let us know. If not, don't let me know, because I've rattled a lot of songs around in my head and also having to make sure that they are DMCA free for us to use. So if they're the songs that are on here, that's probably what I wanted to pick anyway. So just trying to be more professional as we go on here. But yeah, we're really thankful for everyone who's listened. Our numbers that keep climbing, which we're really, really happy about. So thank you very much for that. If, everybody keeps continuing to tell two friends and then they tell two friends and so on and so forth, who knows where we'll be in like 5 more weeks. So we're very thankful for everyone who's listened and, let us fill your Wednesdays with some sort of mental vacation. So that being said, you boys have anything to say before we close it out?
No, I'm good.
You good here?
No, I'm good here.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you again. Always say GG and thank you for being a gent.
See everybody.
Bye.